Thanks again for joining us tonight to talk about the story selling system. Actually, this has been something that we've been developing for a while now. And I've known about the importance of storytelling. And, we see it in marketing. They're always telling you to tell the story, and stories, facts tell, stories sell. And I've often wondered, how do we actually make that happen? How do we tell stories all the time? And I bought many books on storytelling. And so I've kind of, with Content Studio, discovered how we can actually help you guys tell stories that sell. And that's the story selling system. And this is something that's in development. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And Kristen, I think you can see screen. So in this webcast, we want to share with you the stories that are already inside your wellness experience, types of stories that create meaningful content, and so on. And it looks like we're going right to poll. Kristen, are you running polls, or is that Grace? So let's have a fun little poll here. And the poll is, what best describes how you currently use your personal experiences in your content? So go ahead and fire up your answer in the poll. You got 18 more seconds. And are we on the live stream as well?
We are. I can see us.
Let me check. Right. So what have we got? I share stories occasionally, but without a clear strategy. 53%. Are you able to see your poll numbers, Kristen? Yeah, you go ahead and be our
Yep,
poll.
I can. Poll girl. Yeah, so 40% of you says I share stories occasionally, but without a clear strategy. So awesome. 53% I use stories to educate and connect, but I'm not consistent. And then 7% of you says I already have a system for turning my stories into content. So well done, everyone.
Yeah, great job. By the way, while it's on my brain here, I'm going to go to chat and share the conference story capture system. So Kristen made the first version of this, and I just had ChatGPT just tweak it a little bit and adapt to the story selling system training that we have. So I just threw that in the chat. And so kudos to Kristen for coming up with that, because I hadn't even thought about it. So check your chat, gang, and you will see that I just threw in a document that you guys can download that's going to help you for telling stories throughout the conference. Using the conference is a great way to share stories. And maybe if we have time, we'll dig into that just a wee bit. But for now, I'll leave it at that, let you download it. So, folks are creating content, but few people are creating connection. Who here might be feeling that way? So the current content challenge out there is, I think many of you might be struggling with this. Oh, you know what? It only went to hosts and panelists. My bad. Let me send it to everyone. Oh, that's why. Boop. Okay. Let me know if you guys can see that. People tend to be posting without a strategy, or they're just running out of ideas. Maybe they feel a little repetitive, struggling to stand out. Actually, what we notice is people tend to struggle with just consistency. Not that they don't actually have ideas or content to share, but they're just busy doing other things. It's hard to remember this on a regular basis. And that's one of the beautiful things about when you meet with us every week and you have somebody who's wrapping their arms around you, is you're kind of forced to do it, like having a gym buddy or an accountability person, except that we don't just hold you accountable. We actually work with you to do it. So this is the old content model, like random content, which can often lead to random results. So here's some examples you can see from product posts to just trying to follow the latest trend. The new content model that we want to talk about, there we go, is sharing an experience or having an experience, converting that into a story, and then that's part of your content ecosystem. And stories win because people don't connect with information, they connect with experiences. Stories create relatability, understanding, trust, and action. And your greatest experiences really are your greatest content asset. Every person's got a starting point, a challenge, something they've discovered, a transformation they've gone through, and lessons learned. And I'm not sure why the slides are so hard to change, but so here's how we've been doing it. So step one, we do an interview with you guys and we log that. We put that into our storytelling system GPT. So it's a specially built GPT that understands the framework of what we're looking for and the way we want it to give us the output so that it's got consistency. So we want to do things like, where did you start? What challenges were you facing? Why did you try something different? What did you discover? What did you learn? Yeah, maybe documents are not showing. And then step two is the story deconstruction. So that's trying to dig out the what happened, the what did you learn, and then what do you understand now? And these are the three types of stories that create meaningful content. So one is your experience, so your journey, your lessons, your transformation. And the next is your perspective. So what are your beliefs and your insights, and then helping others. So your conversations, your guidance, and your impact. So here's some examples, like a personal health challenge or a mistake you made and what you learned. Or on your perspective, it could be why wellness is about consistency and a misconception you see in health and wellness. Helping others could be a common struggle you help people solve or a lesson you learned. So those are some angles. Well, we have trained the GPT to basically pull those out of your interview. And there we go. So one story becomes an entire content ecosystem. So what we do is we capture that story and then we actually begin by creating a blog post. So those of you that have been working with us in Content Studio at the medium to high level, we activate your blogs, or you might be on the Ultimate Bundle, which means you already have a blog. Then we will work with you on that. And then what we do is we create reels and stories, feed posts, even email, and then other resources, all to support that blog post. So this is an example of one that we did with Nancy. So we had her share her experience using the ageless sculpting wand. And what I was trying to do was find a way to help you guys share your product in a way that wasn't promotional, didn't feel like a brochure, was actually story driven. So it's got a kind of an angle towards like an Amazon review and you sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we just find that that's the most believable type of content on the internet for sharing why you're using something and what results you noticed. Even sharing the honest downsides. In this case, we've been able to share her before and afters. We haven't, she's actually reshooting her video, but we're going to be able to put in a video to this. This can also link to, we don't have it in this one, but this can also link to content as like what we've done here with Joyce in her blog. So you can see for Joyce's blog, I see actually we need to enable that blog post. Is not showing up on the homepage and it should be. Let's go to her blog. There we are. So we helped her make one about liquid collagen. We're waiting for her video to come in as well, but you can see that here we're able to actually link to content inside your wellness resource center where we can go even deeper. And either you can make it like a lead magnet where they're forced to create a free account to get access to it, or you can just give them the free version with the shared link. So you can see that it's really what's called a pillar post. So it gives the depth of your story, a little bit of education, maybe some sciencey stuff in it, but it's really predominantly your story, your perspective, what you thought about it. And so that's the blog. Well, then we use reels, stories, and other content to drive people to that blog, the blog being kind of the home base for that information. Because we're already creating that kind of educational style, generic content, that's why I felt we really need to start helping you guys create long form content. It's almost like a sales page, but it's your personal perspective. Then AI cannot replicate it. It's not generic. It's unique to you. Search engines love that. So that's why we went in that direction. Let's go to poll again. Let's turn on the poll timer.
Okay. There we go. So for this one, at this point, how clearly can you see the content opportunities hidden inside one personal story? So 1, I'm still trying to understand the idea. 2, I'm beginning to see how this could work. 3, I can already think of a story I could use. I see a lot of you clicking that one. Well done. And 4, I can see several stories that could become content. There we
Yeah,
go.
well done.
Right, we will end. And there are the results. So 13% of you are trying to understand the idea. That's awesome. And this hopefully can help clear out some of the fuzzy bits. 44% of you are beginning to see how it could work. We got 19% of you already have a story in mind, and 25% of you already have a few stories in mind. So well done, everybody.
Yeah, good for you. I'm just going to share with you really quickly a visual here. And I think Kristen will probably have to throw this also in the community chat, as it seems like people are not seeing the document that we throw in here. I don't know, I'll try. I'm not sure why it's. Anyways, I did put it back in there again. If you guys want to give it another try at seeing that in the chat, it should be showing up. I sent it to everyone. This is again the kind of the guidebook that we use, or the infographic. So over on the side, you'll notice, there you go. You saw it. Good thing, Sharon. Thank you. Fuel the story. So really your job is to be the collectors of the story. Are you saying, there we go. You want me to zoom in, Linda? Is that what you're meaning by that? Yeah, I'll zoom in a bit more so you guys can see the text on there. So here we are, fuel the story. So that's what we were talking about earlier, and that's not quite what I was trying to get at. There we go. So we talked about your experience, your perspective, and helping others. We use that, we draw that out in our interview, pull that into a blog post, and then you can see we repurpose and distribute. So then we're going to create a real script for you. So it's your words, right? Because it's your interview, your story. Then we create feed posts that are going to go in your Facebook profile, your business page, also in Instagram, could be even a carousel possibly. Then we create story sequence images. And this is an example of a story sequence image. So you can see here, they're a different size. They're a 9x16. So again, this is Nancy sharing her experience using an Aegis sculpting wand. And then she moves into, so it starts off with like my experience, why I tried it, my first impression, and then she shows a before and after, and then she does a call to action. And that's the way we're building the story sequences. When it's product related, there are going to be times when we're going to help you create a story that isn't directly related to product necessarily. Maybe it's something you've discovered, learned, or possibly maybe you're doing a recipe. That's okay too. Doesn't always have to be an exact story either. It could be, you know, like Edie, for example, they make these cookies around, I think it's around Christmas or Thanksgiving. And there's this like old time recipe. Well, there's a story behind that. And so she could share that. That's a blog is a great place to share that. Because that way you see she's always able to give something out. Hey, take a look at my recipe that I've done. And it's her personal recipe. Like we're not sharing it with everyone else. It's not in the Wellness Resource Center. And it connects to her hub site. So always remember your hub site is your home base. It's your marketing nerve center. So you're trying to meet people on social, but get them to your hub site. That's really where you want them to come to, because that's where your lead magnets are, your webinar registration pages. That's how they can wire into you, is through your hub site. So then we have other mechanisms to promote the story, from email, text messages, social posts. And I had a neat testimonial from Anne Salancy, who was able to send out, using our smart send system, a broadcast and she had, I think, 3 orders right away from the family and friends event by using the broadcast instead of trying to send, messages one by one. She was able to get her list uploaded and get that done. So that was pretty cool. Now, this is a little bit off from the story selling sequence, but this all weaves together because you see, we're using storytelling to help you to actually build your audience. It's part of your attraction and audience growth mechanism. So let's just talk a little bit about Reels while I'm at it. And let me, before I do that, let me answer Edie's question. She's saying, when inviting, would you send them to the primary hub and let them select wellness or business, or if you know they are wellness oriented? Yeah, I would definitely, the master page, kind of the homepage of your hub site, is just there because it has to be. You need one homepage, right? That's best when you have no clue what's their interest, or if you're in a space and you're only allowed one link and you're not sure what to do, then the homepage is the best. But typically, you're better to drive them to one specific lead magnet or a reg page. Or yeah, if they're interested in wellness, take them right there. Don't let them stumble around trying to find their way on the website. That's my suggestion. Great question, Edie. So reels matter today because attention is earned through story, and reels create discovery, reach, and curiosity. So that's really kind of the heart of Content Studio, of what we've been doing with you guys, is actually giving you guys scripts. You may have seen this here when you go inside your YFP back office and you click to see this week's wellness script. You'll notice, so now some of you may not have access to this yet because you're not part of Content Studio, but we do give you still for free the discovery group script for now. But the profile reels, audience growth reels, these scripts for reels, those are for just for people in Content Studio. Well, now we do have a space that contains this to make it easier for you guys, so you don't have to have someone manually do that for you, like one of our called MIPs, our marketing implementation partners, that actually help you guys post this stuff. So I want to make sure you're aware that that's where the reels, the scripts are held. But then we are creating some scripts for you that are unique to you, because they are, when we do that interview with you, then we're going to create a script that'll be just yours. So yes, Edie, feel free to reach out and talk to Jess at any time. And thank you, Pat. Yes. And by the way, if you guys are finding any bugs, it's still beta. We've just within the month launched the Content Hub. So let us know if there's things that are not working or things are not showing up the way they should, then we can get that fixed right away. And that's the future of where we will put all the content that you guys can use, like virtual backgrounds, PowerPoint presentations, anything that you can use to build your business with, we put it there. Anything that's content driven that we want your customers to see, that goes in the resource center. So if it's a learning element, we put in the education center, but we don't put files there anymore. We wanted that to be in the content. I should say we don't put like PowerPoint presentations, content that we want you guys to utilize to build a business with. It's not educational tools, if I can clarify that. So things like scripts, your social marketing 365, that'll all be in the Content Hub. But back to Reels, and then this next important topic, and that's the power of UGC, or user-generated content. So people trust people. So what we've discovered is that when we put your picture, your face on things, you get a lot more engagement. And that's what really drives your social strategy. Is engagement means you're going to be seen by more people. And the more people that you're seen by, the more chance you are able to get into conversations with people, right? So we want to help you do that. And that's why we realize that we can't just do things like 365, because that is, we make one thing, we stamp it out, and everybody gets the same thing. That works for like your discovery group, your retention group, but it does not work well for attraction. We need to show you. And if you go and look at, so for example, if I scoot over here and let's take a look at some of these social influencers that have really big following, like one that I follow, and she's in New Skin here. Gretchen Clark, for example, she's got 170,000 here. You can, if you scroll through her content, look at that. She's now at 170,000. So she was at 169 before. It's all her. None of this is, or almost none of this is just like a photo that her marketing agency made. So that's what tends to drive for Instagram. If you look at Emily Ford, Emily's a Shackley distributor, and look at this girl go. I get my page up here. She's got over 500,000 followers, and check out her content. You can see now she does do some quotes, but if you go through it, it's her. So that's why we know that UGC is really the key. But the challenge for you guys has been, how do I show up in my way? Right? Like, I don't look like Emily Ford, or I don't have what she has, or whatnot. You're different. So how do you show up? Well, that is actually, I'm glad you asked. That's where we do things like what we just made for Anne Salancy here, and that is the social visibility blueprint. So using our AI tools, and remind me, Kristen, to show you how to use this one, because I just got it figured out. We do a brand building interview with you, and then that gets your core high level branding done. Then we move to the point where as we learn more about you, we then do this social visibility blueprint. And that's what helps us to know things like your primary niche for Instagram specifically, not Facebook, but Instagram, your primary creator mode and all this kind of stuff, so that we can get behind you and actually say, hey, let's create this kind of content for you. So you show up in this way that's going to get what we're hoping to be the most effective way to grow a following that does not necessarily apply to Facebook. So Edie, that's what I was trying to get to you guys about last week, was that. Because again, how you're going to show up in Facebook, I do not believe always fits how you will show up on Instagram. So tra la 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 la, we are at another poll. Take it away, pollster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So our next poll is, how do you feel about using your own experiences to create content after hearing this strategy? 1, I'm interested but need help getting started. 2, I understand the concept but need a clear process. 3, I feel ready to begin identifying my stories. Or 4, I already know which story I want to start with. Have fun.
Oh, I think I might have minimized the poll when I did that, but can you still see the poll?
No, I can still see it. It's still running.
Okay, great.
People are still clicking.
It seems that once I move my mouse and click somewhere else, the timer stops.
It does.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
I know, that's the deal. That's what's going on here.
We have great jokes about it in WIA when we're trying to do a workshop and I'm trying to show them stuff. I'm like, well, we got 8 minutes instead of 5. All right. So we have 17% of you says I'm interested but need help getting started. Awesome. 28% understand the concept but need a clear process. 44% I feel ready to begin identifying my stories, and 11% say they already know what story they want to start with.
Awesome.
So well done.
And here's some of you guys are great and nailing it. Like, here, let me share with you an example. So I had my team pull, let's see here. Let me just, I'm going to open this up here. I'm going to download it. Where's that? There we go. Let's just put that here in my downloads. So this one is from, what's her name? Shannon Maines. And I think she's just done a heck of a job. I'm going to show you an example of a story video.
A season of my life when I thought that I had to choose, that I can either.
By the way, you'll notice this is a reel. You'll notice it's in the 16 or the 9x16 format. It's got captions on this. So this is all the pieces of a reel. It's 1:28, perfect for storytelling.
The career of helping people as a nurse, or that I could choose.
And I realize, I don't know, I think I had trouble with this last time. I'm going to try sharing sound, but Kristen, can you hear the sound when I'm running this?
Flexibility to like enjoy my life and live it the way that I wanted. And I believed that those two things couldn't exist together. But over time, I realized something. My passion wasn't just nursing. My passion was helping people. It was helping people understand their bodies, helping them understand how to feel better, helping them understand how to live better. And that started because I needed that. I needed to learn how to live better and feel better and live healthier. So I took that passion and I kept learning. I studied nutrition.
Now, what you're about to see is called B-roll. So she's taken a little video clip of her holding the Vivix gummies.
Aging and lifestyle prevention, and I became obsessed with understanding why people, myself included, were so tired.
Jody, you're muted.
Sorry. Who here, you guys were able to hear her though, right? Yeah. So who here loves that story, would love to have a story like that for themselves, but you don't know what to do. Like you don't know how technically are you going to actually do that. That is the problem we are seeing with many, many distributors is they know they want to share that. They've got a cool story, but they don't know how to do it in an authentic way. They don't know how to get a script, a teleprompter. They don't know how to do it with like, the little circle. Yeah. See, like Betty, Betty's actually killer on camera if I coax her into it. But what she needs is an interview. That's how we bring, Betty stuff out there. So let me share actually, because Betty did a great little blurb here. So we helped Betty.
I'm a little frustrated right now because
I'm gonna one sec share my screen. Hopefully you don't mind me sharing, Betty.
We booked to go. I'm a little frustrated right now because we booked.
By the way, we just scheduled this for Betty today. I already got 14 comments. I'm assuming Betty's probably back and forth commenting, but some great engagement right off the bat.
I'm a little frustrated right now because we booked to go to Nashville to the Shackley 70th conference. We booked with WestJet, and of course there's this pending strike, and we thought that the strike had been announced this morning because they're supposed to give 72 hours notice, but it's not really an announcement. It's just a possible walkout, and we won't know until probably the actual day that we're supposed to fly whether the strike is on or not. It's just very frustrating because there's no other flights to get.
So that story, we just, had our coaching session with Betty today. She shared this little, what was going on in her life. And I was like, that's your story today. And we recorded it. Now, that's not a story selling system piece. Like we're not going to create a blog post about that. And we're not going to go crazy with reels and all that. That's just like one great little story that I know she's going to get engagement from. And she did 14 comments. So that's awesome. And I want to share that.
I watched this really great presentation last night on collagen, and I'm just really excited about it because I found out that that collagen, it starts to break down like as early as in our 20s, and it doesn't replace itself as quickly as it used to. So as we get older, like we get more wrinkles, and that's something I don't really want to get more than I need at this point.
So can you guys see that when you've got somebody that's working with you, we know how to draw stories out? Because at that time, actually, Betty didn't have a good enough phone. So we just interviewed her directly in Zoom. And then I had my team right there edit all my interview questions out and had Betty sharing her story. And that's the same thing that we'll be doing with any of those of you that want to work with us in Content Studio. I'll just talk a bit about how to get started doing more stories. So this is really the execution system behind the story selling system. And we help you capture stories and build the assets, create that consistency and grow your audience. And your story really is your marketing asset. You don't need more ideas. You just need a system to unlock what you already have. So what I would recommend you guys do, though, is reach out to us for a free strategy session where we can help you identify your strongest stories, your content opportunities, build your roadmap. And really one story, one system, endless opportunities. And that said, I'm just going to scoot over to this for a minute because so Kristen came up with this capture once, create for months, which I thought is brilliant. Or I don't know, did ChatGPT come up with that? Whatever it was, you popped it out there.
I'd like to say I came up with that catchy line, but I did not.
Well, we want to show you guys how to capture authentic stories from the conference. So this is what's in that document that I sent, by the way. The conference creator mindset, the conference story mindset. So again, you know, storytelling is really the theme. Well, we want to make sure you guys know how to make that happen. And something you may find interesting if you're wanting to get a little bit more, you know, advice, a little deeper onto this, I would suggest getting the audience growth audit. And then we can talk about where you are. So like you, Marilyn Grandstrand, you know, we built your wellness community, for example, but now we need to get some visibility, right? We need to get people in to that community. Some of you don't have a community. You have no Facebook group, no discovery or retention group. No, your branding is flat. It's not, there's no clarity on your personal story. Again, if you go back, you'll see here, for example, the way we did with Joyce, where we lead with story, right? And then it leads into her full story here. Another one that I really love doing, well, we could do Debbie Tucker. Let's see Debbie Tucker here. So Debbie Tucker, Joyce, they all then, what we did is through our interview, we figured out kind of what were the key pain points that we could talk about. And let's do Denise. I think I got that right, Denise. There we go. Love Denise's brand and her story. Her story was sparked when her 5-year-old son was diagnosed with asthma. And it led her on a journey and so on and so forth. And her story goes from that. So she's able to root storytelling around that. Well, we can help you with that from the audience growth audit. And actually, the special offer is $37. I was supposed to change it. Grace reminded me, but I was busy, so I didn't get to it. And it's tonight only. So if you guys are interested on that, you're going to get 2 sessions with myself or Kristen, and we are going to look at your online presence and come up with a growth game plan. And yeah, so for less than $40, get with us, 2 sessions, and we can set you up to win. It's a great way to start if you're not sure where to go. And I would encourage you to, if you just want to free something, book a free strategy session for either the wellness educator strategy. If you need to make the switch mentally from sort of showing up online as the Shackley salesperson to becoming Ella the educator, right? We want to help you guys make that shift so that you are not creating resistance in your audience. You could also take the 30-day free trial if you're not on our marketing hub right now, where we're creating emails for you every week and creating content that you guys can utilize. And let me just share with you a quick example for some of you who may not be familiar with the kind of content that we create for you. Take a look over here. So if we go to the content hub, we'll go to the social content. So every week, our team is writing, designing, and building social content for you that you can post. We're creating instructor graphs, explaining for you guys what to do on your first stories, in your personal profile. We're giving you guys ideas. And then we're creating content. And by the way, here's a fun teaser. Does anyone know what product in Shackley that taurine is in?
And there's 2 products.
Yeah, that's right. So some of you may wonder, why are we talking about taurine so much? But it is such an interesting element and an interesting story behind it. And then I guess they got to flag me. This is what, now you'll be able to see what we're posting for you on your behalf in your business page, Instagram and LinkedIn. So something you guys have been asking for a long time. So that gives you an idea of the kind of content that we're sharing and building for you with you in the Marketing Hub. And make sure too, you also download the Wellness Educators Blueprint. Yeah, so there's the link. I think Grace will be dropping that in for you now. So that said, let's go to chat and questions. Who here is curious, has some questions? Yeah, you're doing great, Denise. Loving seeing your story. Denise has already got her webcast she's done. Yes, Edie, and we've got a ways to go. There's so many new great stories to be able to share with you. Jennifer Wilson, love your hub site, by the way. One of my favorite designs. Would that conference doc ideas work if we're not there in person? Yes, certainly it could. Yeah, you just do it a little differently. I think you just share your journey or experience sort of as a digital viewer, right? As somebody, and you could grab other people's content and share it in a way, not to try to pretend you're there, but I don't know, maybe Kristen, you could share your thoughts. How could
Well, you could do some fun stuff for B-roll. I was just thinking if you wanted to pretend, do like a walk upstairs to get your coffee. It's like, I can't go up the escalator, so I got to do it from home type thing. It's like your homemade escalator. You could poke fun at it with that you're doing it virtually and maybe trying to set up the not so virtual environment. There's many fun ways you can do that. I think the main thing is creativity. But yeah, like even when it comes to, of course, sharing insights, that type of thing, like you can definitely videotape just like we would videotape if we were there, certain pieces that really caught your attention. So you can still do it. And then just, I say, have a lot of fun with the B-roll pieces that we can't get when we're at conference.
And again, B-roll is a video clip with no audio. Because in your case, you can just share your experience of being a virtual participant, right? You can show your little notepad on your coffee table. You could show yourself like watching the big screen, or if it's on your laptop, selfie stories, watching it, what you're learning. Yeah. You may not have the element of meeting people that side, but there's a lot of ways to have fun with it and still make it work. So great question.
And you can also poke fun at all the people who have to sit in those really tight chairs for the thing, and you get to take over your whole couch with a blanket.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah. And Brenda Smith, no, this is not something new. You are part of Content Studio, so you're already good to go. Actually, many of you are. Betty, Joanne, Rita, all part of Content Studio. Kathy, yeah, we're getting you going too, Kathy Pagandarm. Awesome. So, yeah, blanket, where are you? Yeah. Kristen's up in Northern Canada. It shouldn't be cold though. It should be roasting now.
It's pretty nice. It's just the basement's cold. And that's usually where we watch things. So I still use a heated blanket in the middle of July, guys.
Yeah. Wow. So that's kind of your initial look at the story selling system. Is we're going to be interviewing you, extracting these great stories, getting them in the blog post, and then promoting that blog post like crazy. And like Joyce had, I think 5 or 6 people already saying, hey, I want to link to your blog so she could check it out. And people aren't necessarily going to do anything just because they read your blog, but now you're getting signals of interest. So then you can reach out and use our prospecting tracker that we give you in the Content Studio so that you've got a series of steps to kind of move people forward until they do take action. So